So how's it going? Today is going to be my first reel review. It's about this reel here. It's the Daiwa Laguna LT 4000C. And I like it. And this is a completely unbiased review. I bought this reel myself and I didn't pay a lot of money for it. That's what it's about. Quality and value for money. So I've been using this fantastic reel for about 6 months now, and I've got a lot of good things to say about it, and I got some bad things to say about it too. And for 40 quid you can't go wrong. So we'll get into it now. That's it there. Beautiful reel, very light. You can see a few scratches on it because I use my gear. I put them on rocks, I catch a fish. The fish is more important to me than the reel, so my gear gets dinged up a bit, but I do clean them and they work just the same as anybody else's. They just ain't so pretty, that's all. It comes in 1000, 2000, 2500, 3000 and a 4000. That's what it comes in. And the LT stands for light and tough, and it's got many things going for it, this reel. So we'll have a look at the box. So this is it. Yes, the nylon, it will take 12 pound, 150 meters of 12 pound, 190 meters of 10 and 130 meters of 12. That's the nylon. Here's the braid. This is a PE rating. This is the way they do it over in the rest of the world. Not in the States, not in Europe, but not yet, but it makes more sense. This is PE 1.5, which is roughly about 15 pound line, and it takes 200 meters of that. And if it was 12 pound line, it would take 310 meters of braid. This isn't 4 strand, this is 8 strand braid I'm talking about with this PE thing here. PE2 is about 20 pound. It's 170 meters of that. And that's what I have this loaded up with right now. 3 bearings, 85 centimeters of line it will take in with 1 turn of the handle. Max drag 12 kilos. And that is a big deal. I mean, that is a big deal. You could stop fish well into 30 pounds with that drag there. For a reel that size, fantastic. And for a reel that price. And that's how light it is, and that's the gear ratio there. This reel does come with shims as well, and for those people who don't know, they're little plastic washers that go on the axle for the spool, and that will straighten out your line lay. It's a process of elimination. If you have a reel and it piles up in the front or the back, that means more line up the top of the spool or more line down the back of the spool. That's because the shims aren't correcting it. They're just little plastic washers that live inside the box here. Okay, one of the complaints I have about this reel is the reed, and it's inside the spool of the reels, and I'll demonstrate it to you now. I'll show you the reed on this one, and you want the loudest reed you can get, and I'm very disappointed in Daiwa that they didn't do that, because it's very important. There it is there. That's the reed right there. This one's got a big ugly one and it makes a lot of noise. It's very nice. Anglers like it. Of course, all the big fish heads, they already know what the reeds are and what they do. And they're saying, everybody knows that, Billy. No, they don't. Not everybody knows. But anyway, so this is the reed inside this. Can you hear that? That's the reed. Or the plingy thing, as it's technically known. But you know, the designers, you know, they don't like other people to know that they refer to it as the plingy thing. But the reed, that's what us common guys call it anyway, on the LT is not that great. It is not that great, and I'll give you a listen to it now. The Daiwa LT plingy thing test. It's barely audible, unfortunately. And right now you're saying, but Billy, that doesn't matter if it doesn't make a lot of noise. It actually does. But what makes the reed so important when you're fishing is that if it's noisy and it's blowing and there's splashing and there's the sound of waves, you can hear when the fish is taking drag. If you wind when the fish is taking drag, it will cause wind knots the next time you go to cast, and you'll lose fish, you lose time, you lose casts. Every cast counts. The more casts you get, the more chances you get. And if you're fixing wind knots because the reed wasn't loud enough in your reel, that is a problem for me. But that's the only problem I found with the reel so far. I'm sure I'll get used to it. When I'm fishing with the reel, I'll have to remember that it hasn't got as loud a reed as most other reels. It's also very nice for videos. If you have a loud pling thing in your reel, it makes for good viewing, right? If you can't hear it, it's not so great, but it's still a great reel despite that. The body itself is polycarbonate, which is essentially plastic, but a really good durable type of plastic, not cheap nasty type of plastic. It's really good polycarbonate reels. I've got no problems about the fact that it's plastic. It makes it lighter, it makes it cheaper, and the retrieve on it, it's not that great, but it's not supposed to be. It's a small reel, so I'm not going to be fishing very deep water with it. It's just for general use. It's not a specialist reel in any type of way. It's great for pollock, great for bass. Sure, it's not like, you know, a Saltiga or anything like that, nor is the price though. That's the point I'm making. But we give it a cast, see if we hook up a fish. There's lots of razor bills and puffins out today. It's great. I mean, fantastic. That's a 35 gram jig on there as well. Something else that makes this reel special is the line guide here, right there. I don't know how it works, but it works really well. I like to fill my spools right the way to the lip, and if you're fishing with braid, that's generally a no-no. But between the system that I use to do it myself, the anti-wind knot gadget on this, I can fill it right the way to the brim there, right the way to the brim. In fact, it even looks like it's a little bit over. And I still haven't had a tangle with it. I put this line on about 6 months ago and it's still going grand, which is unusual when you're fishing with braid, to be able to do that without getting wind knots all the time. So it's a really great innovation. I'm not too sure. I'll have to take it apart and have a look at it one time just to see what they've got going on there. But fantastic reel, also very smooth. There's no play in the handle at all. For a reel this price is just unbelievable. Usually they're all jerky and they're just not nice to use, but this reel is fantastic for the money. And I can see a load of fry in the water there, and hopefully there'll be a few mackerel along with them for this Daiwa Laguna test. See if we can get the drag not to make much noise. If you're looking for a new reel and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I highly recommend the Daiwa Laguna LT in any of its forms. So, I'm Billy. This is Billy giving you an honest review wherever you are in the world. Remember, I'll see you on the beach. Bye.